Today we're going to be doing an oil change on this Mercedes Benz 2016 CLA 200d. So first things first, and we'll remove this engine cover. And you can see we've got the oil filter hiding in there for ease of access. So the first thing we will do is remove the under tray. There's a couple more at the back. And another couple right at the back. And then the whole thing descends to the floor. Just be careful with these are quite sharp. So we've got one 13mm bolt at the front of the engine to drain, and you know it's the right one because it's got the copper crush washer on for sealing. So with a suitable receptacle in place, I'm going to aim to crack that nut and catch all the oil. Always take care to hold on to that copper crush wash because you don't want it in the oil. It'll make life very difficult for you if you don't have that on. When refitting, I'm just pushing at the bolt whilst I'm turning it so it doesn't jump out at me. Oh, we're nearly there. Come on. Yes, and we've caught the bulk of it with the exception of a little splash. This vehicle's actually overdue an oil change by a couple of thousand miles, so naughty me. The sump plug's in good condition. If you've neglected them too much, you will get bits of metal on here, and the oil will be a bit of a silvery colour, but hopefully we're not in that position. I give credit to Mercedes for creating a low point on the engine because normally it can just blow anywhere. But I'm going to keep my eye on this and hopefully drain as much of it out as I can. Well, this is the bit where I hope and pray that this filter is compatible, and we basically slacken off the oil filter and retorque it to, and it's stamped in there, 25 Newton meter. Now in order to do that you will need a gizmo. The gizmo being one oil filter removal tool, stamped 76 by 14. 76 is the internal diameter in millimeters and 14 is the number of sides. So that fits very nicely over there. As you can see, I have quite a collection, so I've labelled this one up Merc. And then it's 3/4 drive, which I've got an adapter for to get it to 1/2 inch drive for my torque wrench. Now what I've actually done, you see there, that's a little bit of thread lock which I've used just to mark the torque. So if you didn't have a torque wrench, you could actually just mark it up and put it back, and as long as everything aligns it should be to the same torque. So I'll just gingerly unscrew this, and I've bolstered the little mark there, put a bit more thread lock on it just because it's I thought it's a bit small on the cap. So we've got the oil filter now ready for removal. So whilst that's draining away, I'll just show you the oil filter removal kit I have got, and we'll turn our attention to the oil filter. So we've got a basic filter and a pack of O-rings. I think there's 3 in there actually. Yeah, there's 3. So we need to replace them at the same time as the filter. Now there's no directions on that, so it could go either way. So I'm going to be working on an old cloth, as every time I touch it, it seems to drip. So we'll remove the filter first. And that just pulls off that way. And we've got the new one on. So the next thing to do is to swap out all 3 of these O-rings. So the smallest one goes there, and in the middle the second largest, and then finally that one there. So with the O-ring swapped out, it's time to reinstate the oil filter. So I've just placed a smear of fresh oil around this O-ring here. The idea being just to prevent any undue friction so we can achieve the correct torque setting. And we've set the torque range to 25 Newton meter, and we've achieved the desired torque. So if you look down there, it's probably a little bit off. So what I'll do, if you go backwards, then forwards, can end up in a different place as we now moved. I think we've moved a little bit further along, and that's probably what I will have done. I've smudged the line, unfortunately. That's what I will have done when I originally did this oil filter. And there we have it. So we'll reinstate the plug. And here is the old engine oil. Now the good news is I can't see any silver metallic pieces in it, so we've got to this in time, but it is quite thin, which is less than desirable. The newer stuff is definitely thicker. We've got a funnel at the oil filter at the ready. I'll just clean a few of my finger marks off before I start pouring. So all is looking good after pouring a bit of oil in at the sump end, so we'll fit the under tray. And that's one successful oil change for the CLA. I'm quite happy with the levels. It should take 5.1 litres, but I would never just put 5.1 litres in it. So now we're to the level, we can start the vehicle. And all sounding pretty good to me. Just give it a while to circulate. So I've ran it for a couple of minutes and there are no signs of any leaks, so that must be correctly torqued. So we'll put the cover back on, and many thanks for watching, and why not subscribe?